Okay, we are going to do the live check-in for Libra for February. The house is noisy. I'm multitasking. I've got the other videos that are going to be launched. And I'm waiting for 2 to upload. And because we're in the shadow aspect of Mercury retrograde, things be lagging. So I'm multitasking. So we're going to tune in live. I have named the video already because I've pulled the cards for Libra 3 times. I've looked at your astrology and it's looking pretty interesting for February. So we're going to check what's up in the hoods for Libra. We are going to be having Mercury going retrograde, which you'll already get the shadow effect of that happening. So you guys are the lucky, theoretically, you're the lucky last. Hi, Dale. You're the lucky last, but you're the only one that I'm able to do live due to the fact that the other ones already get affected by the aspect of Mercury retrograde. Now, when I've pulled the cards 3 times for Libra and I've looked at the astrology, it's almost like you guys are deeply intuitive at the moment. Now, we do have Venus that's going to be moved. At the moment, Venus is in Pisces, so there is this psychic connection to you. It's basically the 12th house activation, which is your subconscious mind. Now, a lot of what will be coming through with the Mercury retrograde will be almost going into that house and really more actions than words and a lot of regression back in your thought process. And you will need to be looking at your Chiron placement, which I had mentioned last month. Now, you guys, your Chiron placement is in your 4th house. No, it's not. It's in your 7th house. So that's marriages, contracts, partnerships. And uniquely, we're going to be having Juno retrograde, which happens to be in Libra, and it will be for a whole year. Now, Juno is the daughter of Saturn, and it is linking into your romance house and decisions that you're making. A lot of what has been going on for the last year, I would say, and now moving into February, it's almost like we're not going to be out of the woods until potentially March. But a lot of the transits of what's happening, a lot of times when you get squaring aspects, it tends to bring the best out of situations because you're fine-tuning what isn't working. But I'm finding you guys to be deeply linking in with really wanting a very, very deep change at the moment. Now, those changes, you already intuitively know what they are. And I do feel that a lot of you are looking at things and thinking you can see the bigger picture why things are occurring, but it's deeply frustrating you why they haven't at this point in time yet transformed. You may also be reacting and acting very cutting. Now, the cutting energy will be to do with the Juno aspect. And we're also going to be having Mars in Capricorn, which can also be looking at things where the push-pull energy's there. You're having to really backtrack, and a lot of time has been taken into balancing your physical foundation, the energy of your life, the energy of your home, especially with the eclipses that we had in January. And now you're attempting to proceed forward and you're really wanting to fine-tune things. Now, let's have a look at a few houses while I'm tuning into your energy of what can be coming up of the Leo moon on the 9th. And it is in your 11th house. And this can be with groups, friends, your aspirations, and just your past tense hobbies. Hi, Dale. So it is falling in the 11th house, but again, you may, depending on if you're in the cusp in your own birth chart, you still will be getting 12th house activation and potentially even 10th. So you can have situations playing out in your career. Also, you know, 2020 asks us, being a number 4 vibrational year, hi New York, welcome. Being a number 4 vibrational year, it is about you know, really working with the correct tribes, working with the correct people, attracting and detracting. It's almost like axing out the people that shouldn't be in your life. Now, you know, even the shadow aspect of things can bring about positive energies because we can't have the light without the dark. And it's not so much, you know, if you're running from a situation, you're directly not going to be getting the lessons that you're requiring to have. But at the same time, it's making healthier choices from the lessons that you've learned to actually move forward. And I feel that this is a huge theme that many of us are moving through now, especially with, you know, news happening in the media at the moment. There has been a lot of people passing. And again, when we have the Saturn and Pluto conjunction in Capricorn, it can bring about complete things. Hi, Mark. So with those endings, you know, and considering we're moving into a new decade, we're also looking at the sacrificial energies that we've been going through. Look at what's going on with China, you know, really having to delay celebrations as per se, looking at health, looking at things that are really more realistic. That's where the Capricorn energy comes into play. We might have a way of doing things and we might prefer to do things high dawn, you know, in a particular way, but it's sometimes, you know, putting things on the back burner that are very important. And, you know, deeply the year of the rat for China is a very important energy, but having to potentially, due to foundational related issues, health related issues, these things can be cropping up in the collective where we're shifting it into more heart-centered energy. You know, and it does help us grow. It helps us look at things from a different perspective. Now, your Chiron placement, as I mentioned, is in Aries in your 7th house, and this is all to do with marriages, contracts, partnerships. So potentially for the next 8 years, there's a lot of lessons there for you, Libra, but it is about you actually looking at healing in those areas, about choosing more healthy frequencies in those areas, and it is your solar return. So on top of the fact that you've got Juno going into retrograde on the 8th, I believe, Juno is going to be your 1st house. So it's really going to be, hi Steph, it's going to be the way you show the world how you make direct decisions in love, in romance, contracts and partnerships, how you tackle those things. And it's interesting because it does fall into your pain body experience of Chiron. So there potentially could be some things that come up this month. And it's going to be really putting your money where your mouth is and your energy and your intelligence, you know, your subconscious mind of the 12th house into play where you can make the most, I wouldn't say logical, yes, but learned lessons and breaking patterns. So this is what we're attempting to achieve, especially with the 8-year transit of the energy of Chiron being in Aries in your 7th house, and it's there for 8 years. So everything you directly do right now and the energy you put into it, if it's been a pain body experience, how you directly relate to it is going to be very important, especially since there's the aspect of Saturn and Pluto there. Now, the Leo moon on the 9th, as I mentioned, you might need to really step back. Maybe you've been spreading yourself too fine. It could be that you've been socializing, or it may mean that you really need to be going inside to do the healing work. Now, some of this healing can be coming through your friendship groups, through your tribe, through your work and the things that you do. But with the Leo moon, the strength actually comes from within. It doesn't come from without. And when we look at things in layman's terms of how do we listen and how do we heal, and 9 times out of 10, it's all what's coming actually from within, not what's going on directly around us. It is a masculine frequency, the sun energy, and it's connecting in with Leo. So there can be a bit of an egoic purge. There's also an overactive energy of hunter-gatherer mode going on for Libra at the moment, be it you're male or female. So there has been a lot of work. And that really for Librans sometimes can be problematic, more from the perspective of Librans do require balance. And it's not that they're imbalanced and unjust, it's more from the perspective of expectations. Very much in January at the last week, that was something that was going on. So there was a lot of solar plexus inner child healing going on, and imbalances in life where they came up in a very large format. There could have been some very anxious energy. Also frustration as to the amount of burdens that were actually placed on your plate. And I feel for many Librans, it was almost like you didn't notice it happening. So when it had finally reached its haystack point, it was really an aha epiphany where you felt that you really needed to look at certain things and balance them out and take potentially some of your power back. The other signs have been recorded, Dale, so they're going to be launched. But this is the only video that, had I actually pre-recorded it, it would have been 2 days. So the other ones are set. Taurus and Aries at the moment are actually already being uploaded. So all of them have been done, but I just wanted to keep them all on schedule. So you guys are the lucky first to actually receive it. But as soon as the Taurus and the Aries video are uploaded, I can open them up earlier. So we'll wait and see. okay? But they're all done. Now, back to Libra. So there is this imbalance that you have been meditating upon, and it can really be to do with the value system, the give and take in situations. It's not so much you attract it, it's because you haven't learnt to, and I'm going to be doing toolkits on and workshops more from a perspective of, certain readers will do readings from the perspective of this is what the energy is. But the way I operate with my readings, and especially with the private sessions, they're not just psychic readings. They're more about giving you the tools to actually break patterns. And it is connected to the laws of attraction. So 9 times out of 10, we empathically are looking at other people in a very sympathetic, understanding way, but you're not doing that directly to yourself. So the laws of attraction are something that's going on inside you as a belief system, and it's something that needs to be broken. This unconsciously for you guys had crept up on you. So especially when we're quite dense in the 3D, you do tend to not notice certain old patterns coming in. And it's not necessarily that Libra, you guys going through an old pattern right now, but there has been potentially a lot of burdens and responsibility placed on you. These responsibilities, and I did hear this before, you guys do know what needs to change. And I think it's not so much that you're not, some of it is out of your control in a sense that you, how do I put it? It may not be pertaining to you. It can be the environment directly around you, and that is a lot of what has been playing out at the moment. Sometimes we think doors are closed. Sometimes it feels as though there's stagnant energy. Now, by the Pisces moon, it's a very psychic, telepathic connection. So your subconscious mind is going to give you a lot of downloads. Venus is going to be in Aries. So again, it is your marriages, contracts, and partnerships house. So old wounds in those areas at a karmic level can come up to play out, to finalise. And when we do see the world or the wheel, it is about ending a cycle and starting a new one. And some of this has been delayed for some shape or form, but I don't feel it's directly on your side of the fence. I'm feeling it's more connected to other energies around you. Some of you are wanting to hop out of the cauldron, okay? You're wanting to hop out of the witch's hot pot and just not play with, and to be patient from the perspective of you can see the bigger picture and the reason why certain things have to play out, but it also does require you to take direct action where you need to. This could be your energy, you feeling very fatigued, and I was actually picking that in the first few weeks with the Leo moon. If you're needing to, and you have created balance already, you can actually go into a dissension for the ascension, and through the Leo moon, the strength can come through and trigger points through other people, but sometimes the fatigue and noting things don't enable people in the first few weeks. Try and do some work on yourself, go inside, but also hand the work back to other people where it directly belongs to them, and how that's supposed to resolve will actually resolve itself. Some of you may not be feeling motivated for the simple fact that you may not have seen a resolve of a situation. But the key to it is go into meditation, look at, and the Leo moon, especially being navigated by sun, can be ego. It's not to say that you're an ego, but it can be a belief system that suddenly comes through in a shadow aspect. As long as you move through, and keep yourself, I don't feel you're going to be angry. It's more going to be the external energies around you, which can cause some frustration. I feel you're really tired of the BS. I do feel you guys might be doing lighter things that make you feel happier. And I feel that you're really choosing who you invest in. And again, you have been working very hard. So you're wanting to see the seeds, in the reaping of your rewards, but you're definitely not allowing people to manipulate you. So you can be cutting certain energies off, shutting manipulation down, really getting to the point where your expectation has changed. And it's interesting because I use the word expectation, okay? Expectation, we have needs, okay? Expectations can fail because they're it could be even expectations placed on you. Expectations are based on a falsity of a perspective, and sometimes again it can be very manipulative, but this is being projected back to you. As long as you're placing that onto yourself, And I do feel some of you are being too hard on yourself. Being hunter-gatherer, trying to evolve these things, being consistent in this frequency, not seeing the value in negative toxic energy, detaching from it, not even playing with people who manipulate you. But it's going to be a synchronistic pattern that's going to be happening over the board. Overall, you're wanting this change and you're sick of BS. It's like, I'm not mixing with people that cause drama. It's unhealthy. I'm not arguing with people that cause drama, because that is, it's like you've learnt the lesson, so you can't, and sometimes it can be very hard if you've actually gone through a spiritual ascension, because when you are watching people transform through that, if you're well ascended, you will even sit through that arduous vision of watching another person transform, because sometimes the only way is to directly step back and allow the tower to fall, because some of the work isn't your work to do, and some of the work is directly, it's never a blessing in watching it. It can be quite toxic to watch it. But at the same time, it may be the catalyst to the direct change, allowing people to choose for themselves, having love and compassion towards their transformative energy, but keeping yourself very grounded like a Buddhist monk during that transformation, which is arduous, I might say. Arduous. Okay, what else do they want you to know? How are we anyway? Are we enjoying this energy? Deeply frustrating. I do feel that you do know who you are. There you go. You know who you are. You're co-creating and you're manifesting new beginnings. This can be family-related dynamics coming up, expectations placed on you to be the best at blooming everything. And you're like, yes, I know this, and I'm attempting to master it. And a lot of times when you have triggers, what you'll do is you'll look at it from an external point of view to check yourself. And you also look at it from the point of view of, have you potentially been triggered, and is there something on your side of the fence to change? Yildiz, would you say that having or placing expectations most of the time is the root? It's an old frequency. So if you're falling back into it, if you've worked through codependent issues, then you've worked through victim consciousness and perpetrator mode, some of those triggers can come back up, and they're all deemed as an expectation. I'll give you an example. Your mother and I've been using this for years on YouTube. Your mother tells you if you're good, you're going to get an ice cream. Okay, and then the ice cream truck breaks down. Now, good and bad, people have things happen to them. Now, if you have a requirement that a person's got to come correct, e.g., it means that you feel energetically, it's quite condescending to self, really, that you energetically feel you couldn't use your Queen of Swords to deal with that. So I'm very cautious about how I read things. So, if we have an expectation, it's generally to do with a spiritual issue of a need we have, because we haven't actually sorted that need inside ourselves. So it's a broken piece inside us that needs fixing. So potentially because another energy surrounding you at the moment hasn't dealt with a healing, there can be an expectation they're directly placing on you because they feel disempowered. To give them their power back, you do need to actually stop enabling to a point that they actually have to directly then weigh up the pros and cons of that energy to decide. And that really is then releasing the aspect of expectation. Don't own it, don't take it personal. And if you are taking it personal, again, it can directly relate to you. Now, this person overall in your energy, this is what you're attracting. You can be deeply sensitive at the moment. Again, I am feeling a lot of your energy is in the masculine frequency. And you also need to get that balance of the feminine energy, which is your intuitive mind. Again, with the Pisces moon, we're going to have Mercury in Pisces. We're also going to have Venus in Aries, which is your 7th house. So it's sort of coming to the table in a deeply reflective manner. You can articulate these things, but be mindful that, in a retrograde, our communication is not the best. But if you pause and you assess the situation, attempt not to go over old situations in a conversational piece or an argument factor. Because as I said, Mars is going to be in Capricorn, and that can be pretty nasty. That can be like almost step-up energy, almost toxicity energy. But again, the Capricorn energy is helping us really narrow things down to a point where it's like a scale, like the Libran scale. If you really want something, you will be willing to put the work into it. But it's almost like an overweighted scale that, how do I put it? It's a bit like when you're sick. You need food, water, and rest. Anything beyond that point is non-essential. And the non-essential energies, you just won't muck with. You won't have the energy for because of the ascension symptoms. Let's see what's coming through in your cards. Okay, you feel that you know this person to the core, and I feel this is romantically related, especially since we've got the 7th house. Now, Aries did come through like this as well, and Libra, you guys are one of the signs as well. When I did pull the cards on the 3 occasions, it could be the third-party energy you're dealing with. Now, third-party energy can also be interferences, conflict, irrational behavior, cycles not ending. Could be, an ex, it could be children, it could be your family. It's a lot of things. It's not one given thing. Try not to get triggered by the third-party energy. We can never, when we're dropping codependent patterns, we can't control what other people do, but we can control the way we come to the table with the situation. Now, I do feel you overall being at the top of the triangle pyramid, right? I'll see you at the very top. And this is how you're coming through. You're able to manifest, you're able to create, you're going to be quite focused on your career and all the things directly relating to you. Also a deeply manifesting kind of energy, including energy of love. This person you're tuning into, to the core, this is in general what you want or who you are. Now, this is very playful. This is very sensitive. And sometimes it can come across, how do I put it? Cheeky. Okay, this person in general is cheeky. Now, you may feel as though they need to cut through a situation and use their King of Swords. This is part of theirs, for them to make a judgment based on a situation. And I do feel in your own life, you are needing to make a major decision. Come to the situation playfully, know who you are. If there's a sensitive environment, address it and cut through with communication, cut through with, making decisions. Even if you feel you're concerned about what could be on the other side of that fence, really only take it from the here and now, because potentially a lot of times when we choose not to make decisions, it's due to the fact that we're scared about what happened in the past or what could potentially happen in the future, but we're not there. So we need to be doing it from the here and now. Don't ever fall in love or look at a situation for potentially what it could be, unless, of course, you have direct power in that situation and you can change it moving forward, and it's by your own energies. Yeah, you're taking your Saturn energy and your foundation, and you have all the tools. You're connected, right? Let's go into the King of Cups. What is this energy about? What's surrounding this energy? Yeah. They aren't quite sure. They're closing their eyes to a situation. They're trying to be playful, like everything's fine, but deep down they do know they're potentially in the hangman position, because they don't know whether they can actually trust their intuition with this situation. They're feeling a vibration that something potentially can be changing in this area. This also could be them dealing with someone who they directly don't trust, and they don't even want to think about it anymore. It can be sweeping under the carpet energy. But they're trying to be playful and happy, even though subconsciously there are some spiritual things going on, below the surface. And again, yes, Libra, this can be vice versa, where this is actually happening with you as well. Wow. Okay, communication coming in. So they are going to talk about it. This is going to be a conversation. There can also be, again, energy messages coming through the grapevine, gossip, etc. I do feel also with this King of Swords layout, they either already have made a decision or they're about to, but I'm feeling it's more so they made a decision. Hi, Dale. How are you? Yeah, they want emotional abundance, okay? So there is a lot of heart chakra activation with them, and they're trying to fill their cup. And I feel Libra in general, both in your career and in your romance house, this is what you're aiming to achieve, you know, with the tribe, with the people you're mixing with. In general, this is a choice you're moving forward with. And directly connecting to a partner energy or a love interest energy, they're picking more harmonious frequencies, and it can be where they feel quite detached from toxic energies at the moment. Yeah, it's like made a judgment. They had to. Okay, now I'm going to tune into this card because this is about stubborn frequency, looking at catalyst energy, and I feel this is more to do with the direct subject matter. What is this pertaining to, please? Yes. Inner child, family, ego, energy of the past, or clarifier. This is from the Leo moon, okay? Now, overall, the decision between both energies and you within your own life, Libra, and your career, you're moving forward. You're also seeing where potentially you've been standing your way and where conflict externally has been directly impacting and affecting some of the progress and the transformation in your life, and you're trying to take your power back. Now, the power in that is really balancing that chakra. Yeah, it can be, again, to do with family-related dynamic and immature energy, frequency. And again, this is reaching an end because the card breaks down to a 10. So I do feel between now and the Leo moon, and even potentially moving into the Pisces moon on the 23rd, this is where some situations can play out that can be, you know, coming to the forefront for this person to directly sort this situation out. Now, this is where they're going to step into their power and actually transform it. And this is where they're dropping the energy of toxicity and stepping away from these energies that, and I'm hearing the word evil. It feels very vindictive. It feels like they really see these, and this can be you also, Libra. It will be dual energy. You know, overall, this is connecting both in with your work, people around you, your money, your love. It's in general energy, but I'm also tuning into a love interest where the conversation piece is actually coming through with them and you, very similar to you actually reacting to situations very similar. I do feel lots of this you actually have already worked through yourself, and you're really guided to step back so that they can go through this spiritual transformation themselves. It will be happening during the Mercury retrograde, and things that aren't spoken can come through in a visual more so. This is, again, a person where they will directly stop speaking to, and someone they haven't been in communication with because throat chakra is on the reverse. Yeah, they're following their intuition, and again, this is connecting them with the 1-400, really following the light codes and knowing that they're on the right path. Their guides and their ancestors are pushing them for this, but they're also assisting you as well. Do drink a lot of water this month, because again, with the Pisces frequency coming through of the 12th house, you can get deeply dehydrated. And again, you know, for Libras, I do feel there was a lot of base chakra, solar plexus, sacral chakra. And again, when you're getting the Mercury energy, you can feel almost that you are feeling unable to communicate your truth due to judgment. This can also be other people's energy, the way they're feeling, quite judged. And I do feel this counterpart energy is feeling quite judged when it came to a previous environment. Now, Justice. We've got the Justice card. This is you guys coming up, Trumps, making a decision. I do feel an activation between feminine and masculine inside you, Libra. A balance there. And it's interesting because even on the Judgment card, like, look at the two. They're looking to the past and the present. They're the 5D, they're the 3D. Their eyes are closed, but they're deeply receptive. Very much in a stance of a transformation in your whole world, following your intuition when it comes to your finances, money, love, what direction to go, how the past served you, how the present serves you, and what to do to move forward. You're not where you need to own it, okay? But I do feel this is an energy where somebody had been irresponsible, and I feel this is external third-party energy. And you're making a judgment based on that. But there could be a subject coming up where you have to make a decision based on someone who had been irresponsible. Also, you may be looking at areas during the Leo moon for you where you can nurture some of your plans and grow them to that next level. Yeah, looking at your foundation in your business, your finances, and working out what you can do to change that. And I always find, you know, going back into your spiritual sense, because the 7 is spirituality. And the reality is, when we see a lot of 7s, when I say 7s in the card, it is to do with your spiritual belief and detachment. So I did a video based on detachment. And in manifestation, when we don't believe something, 9 times out of 10 it won't flow. But when we detach from it, 9 times out of 10 it actually comes towards us. So if we're really struggling with the scenario, detach from it and allow the situation to transform. Oops. Yeah, so this is going to heal. You're actually going to start moving. Your career's going to start moving. And especially if you do work in technology, because we have Mercury retrograde, it can be arduous, because I live through it all the time, but look at it from the perspective of it's creating a tool. It's really self-mastery in the areas of communication. It's looking at things from a different perspective. It's also spending some time in meditation to have some quiet time, to tap into the 5D of your feminine energy. Now, this, with anything you're wanting to expand at the moment, Libra, I do feel through the Mercury retrograde, it's going to give you some epiphany moments, but I also do feel that 2 areas are mainly highlighted. And it's almost like I do feel subjects of love are going to come up, but you're deeply focused and you're trying to focus on self. And I do feel that's the key. Be open to these situations and definitely, you know, most of what you're doing for your career is going to aid in your marriages, contracts, and partnerships, because this is your 7th house. And, you know, your foundation is both spiritual and 3D. So you have to have the balance of both worlds. If it's all looking at, you know, the finances, the abundance, as long as you're committed to this, your commitment to things and yourself will reap rewards, but you're meditating upon what to be committed to at this point. So some of you might be on the fence. Yeah, funny, Mark. What else is coming through? Yeah, the Pisces is the 6th house. So really with the 6th house, you really don't know how this is going to go. Trying to balance both, you know, it's sort of like the house of the hidden enemies. You're looking at it and you're wondering how you can do everything. If people have been lumping responsibilities on you and you're like, I'm trying to be responsible, but they're taking your tools away from you, it could potentially be where healthy boundaries need to be set so you can focus your energy back onto work. But again, if it's a mindset and a conditioning that you have power in that. During the Leo moon, go inside, and then during the Pisces new moon, which is a time of manifestation, you may get the creative ideas where you can directly apply the balance, the foundation, the power, the strength, but it's inner strength and understanding of how you can change the map moving forward. Now, as I mentioned, the following month, we do have Saturn retrograding into Aquarius. Now, Saturn, the father figure of the universe, is going to be giving us some hunches around that time, and you'll probably see it by mid-month February. You'll see synchronistic patterns. I always feel the energy before the transit. You'll see where organisation is key. So those downloads you get psychically of the Pisces moon, you know, follow your instincts and get your back moving. When it does come to your career and what you want to do, apply them. Once you apply them as soon as you can. Don't ever look at Mercury retrograde as I can't do anything. It's a weather forecast, as Mark says, but it does not dictate to you that you can't try. Yes, definitely be cautious of your contracts. This can be old energies coming up, especially for Libra. It can be separations, divorces, karmic endings, you know, looking at past tense connections, looking at TF connections, and a lot of those things are coming to the forefront at the moment. Yes, marriages, contracts, partnerships. Okay? It's all coming to the forefront. What will it be? Now, the one thing I can say, I'll pull a card for money. The one thing I can say with Juno being in Libra this year, you guys are going to be very decisive. You're going to be Queen of Swords on fire. Queen of Swords on fire. Okay. You don't quite know what to do at the moment. You're meditating upon certain things. Some of you might have worked very hard last month and wanting to take a little bit of a gauge into meditation. Some of you may be having a holiday. Some of you are very frustrated with some of your finances at the moment and the way things are going, but I do feel you're going to find a solution, and during this month, you're going to put your actions into plans. Some of you had already been working on that, and again, it does stem from your spirituality. If you're grounded, everything then flows, and I do feel the key to your money and your career at the moment is deeply in the healing of your Aries and Chiron energy. Being that it's a 7. Marriages, contracts, partnerships. Okay, your tribe. You got the Page of Wands. Let's see. Okay. There can be a lot of fire energy around at the moment, and you can be looking at family in general and actually relating to the reality that, how do you explain it? It's a bit like, you can't have the light without the dark, but you're being very selective and you're being very frank. Hi, Tyson. You're being very frank when it does come to who you'll allow into your group and who you won't. You can be also deeply protective of the people around you, and trying to moderate, trying to mediate. Thanks, Tyson. Behave. Then you got the Knight of Swords. Okay, you might have to be really, really harsh at the moment or strict. And it does feel, this could be the energy that is going on around you at the moment, or directly the way you're going to have to relate towards a family dynamic to actually keep it in keel. Can I show you a bit of, did you? My nephew's name is Tyson. I hope that's not my nephew watching right now. Okay, something's going to shake up in the family, and there is going to be a situation that is going to be where you've got to put your foot down to bring something to an end. Yeah. Yeah, it's like you're not wanting to entertain this. You're not wanting to entertain this. You're to the point where you're thinking, if this is going to keep going on, you're putting your foot down and you're handing the issue back to the responsible, irresponsible parties. I love it when feeds go on the opposite side. Excuse my fingers, guys. That was easy. Little rat bag. I don't know, Mark. 1 minute. Okay. Add moderator. There you go, Mark. Welcome, Mark, to Moderation Kingdom. Moderating Kingdom. I have to ask my sister, is that your son? Okay, let's look at love. What is the energy for love for Libra? Oh, okay. You guys are having nothing but a spiritual connection. You won't take it any which way. You are tired of the fantasies, the delusions, the illusions. You want a very, very deep spiritual connection, and if you can't have it, you're not interested. If you can't have it, you're not interested. Really putting energies and past tense frequencies. Yeah, putting people back in their place and going, look, bitch, what? I tell you, my partner's sitting there going, are you done yet? Yeah. Letting them deal with that energy. You're done with that BS. It causes this energy who interferes with your happy energy. They could be quite distorted. And I do feel this is an external energy. They might be a bit of an energy vampire. I don't feel this is your romantic interest. I feel this is sending energies either on your side of the fence, their side of the fence. It's karmic frequency that interfere and attempt to manipulate. But it does feel like a lot of work that both you have done. There are these people that actually don't quite see the reality of the situation. You know, do come to the table with this in a very reality-based situation. But at the same time, don't entertain or tolerate. Some of you may have a finalisation of a contract coming up. If you have been waiting for that to happen, it is coming up, and it's taken a long time, and you're just wanting that new start. Yeah. Leo Moon. Instincts, secrets, 12th house activation, I would say, with the Pisces Moon. Follow your intuition when it comes to this and axe the energies out. If you need to do a gem removal, do a gem removal. And keep your cards close to your chest. Keep grounded. You know, again, follow your instincts. Okay. What is this unseen that we're not seeing? Okay. I don't know why I find this really amusing. Okay, to me, this represents the Aries energy. Look at that. This is a frequency coming through from a visual that I'm getting is, again, marriages, contracts, partnerships, the transformation head, bored with stagnancy, wanting something to directly change. And really, you do, and this is why I said, you know how this is going to go. If someone is over the top and coming at you with BS, you're just going to use your Queen of Swords energy. You're not going to be playing. You have control of your own life and everything you want to create. And if you're bored, you want this to change. And I do feel a lot of, it's like, you know, you don't want to go backwards. Going from a 5 to a 4, you're not willing to go backwards. So you're wanting to have more fun in life, but more for your health perspective. Not for you want to go clubbing or something to that degree. You actually want to have a happier life with happier individuals. Okay, Ace of Swords. Yeah, a lot of conflict. The conflict you're trying to walk away from, and this is conflict in family, fights. This is a karmic energy coming through. Okay, what is the solution? And this is what went on in the last read when I was doing it. It's like, just, you know it's there. It's like you're sitting through the storm. You're observing it, though, maybe in your sphere, and you're looking at it, and you're thinking it's just really, really immature energy, and you don't have time for it. You actually feel that potentially they may be. It depends on where you are as an ascended soul. You might even feel they're making an absolute sort of themselves. It's like, why are you doing that for? You look silly. Okay. Let them see themselves for who they are. Let them see the mirror. I do feel there's going to be a judgment based on them, and it can be external to you. So they may be coming up due to actually affecting their own energy now. Yeah, they don't want to let this end. They don't want, they're like energy vampires. Now, there is going to be upheaval. This person is going to have upheaval. It's going to affect them. There could be a fight that occurs during the month of February. It doesn't have to be directly connected to you. I do feel it's in your surrounding environment, however. And I feel this person's actually going to own their power and cut it right down to size. Yeah, because it's like really stuck piggy in the middle, dealing with too many things. And the funny thing is, it's almost like being on a tightrope, like a circus act. But unknowingly, I don't feel they know they're doing that. I feel they're trying to create the balance and the health of it, but it's unmaintainable. It's a bit like trying to negotiate with a person that has no intention to negotiate, and somehow magically thinking if you try and try and try and try, that it's going to change the person's mind. I mean, I had that conversation with my family the other day when I gave the analogy of trying to, we can have an idea in mind as to what works for one person. But if two people's ideals and value systems are completely different, you can beg to differ, but this person does not want to beg to differ. They want to be right. So it's causing problems. Now, I am going to do a mid-month check-in as well. Any questions while I'm here in the feed? While I get ready for my daughter's birthday party and my other daughter's birthday party. I've got two now. I need to respond to people that are coming, and those other videos will be up later on. Any other questions? Tightrope, yeah. They're going to get themselves hobbled if they don't jump off. And that is something that I have been saying. It's a T-section in the road, and it's almost critical degrees, and it's like squaring aspects. It's like one or the other. There's no choosing any other energy. You must actually choose a path. This is where it's getting to at the moment. Yes, it is, Sally. It is. Energetically, we'll learn from different perspectives. That is the mirror. Also, I am going to be doing some information videos this month based on what are the signs that you are coming into union, breaking codependent patterns and things to that degree, just to give you guys a bit of a hand, because I think there's some information in the collective, which I did actually ask a YouTuber the other day, are you in union? This person is quite interesting with you know, their theory on things, and I just really wanted to know. So if I have a Leo placement, I should resonate with Leo readings. Look, I actually feel during the astrology we can directly learn something from each placement. I mean, yes, you should, but when you've moved to an ascended state, if you're on a spiritual path, some readings won't resonate with you at all because you're not codependent on them. You don't need them. You're following your intuition. So things won't directly relate to you. That's another aspect that really on soul paths nobody really mentions. But anyway, I will love and leave you. Thank you for coming, and I will talk to you guys soon.